Okay, it doesn't work. I can't share my screen, so you will have to follow what I say. So I'm opening the Git log of what has been done during the last week. I've only worked on fixing all the bugs which were open with a high importance to be able to ship 108 and 173, which will make me add something to the agenda. I got my agenda. I need to talk about question 108. So what has been done during the last week? I think last week we talked about that I merged 17x into 1.x, and then this one I talked about. Okay, then I pulled some pull requests. Lombic fixed the reliable transaction on SQL Azure, so bug closed. I fixed some broken localization for datetime on archives. Maybe a bad merge when I merged Daniel's PR, because he changed the localization for datetime. I fixed also some user menu, some menu item oddities, specific cases with permission in the admin. If you can, well, because we have tabs, we have local navigation, because we have permissions, in some cases the main menu item will be displayed, but if we click on it, we will not have the rights to go to the action, so I fixed it. This I will talk after. Sipke fixed the media library which was not showing the draft items. Then I fixed the menu items from the navigation which will not use the tilde slash and translate it. Then the decision script, the decision activity has been fixed to allow now tokens, because you could not make the decision activity work if you will use the braces. It will conflict with the tokens. Now it's fixed. There were two bugs for the decision activity. Then Daniel pushed the work that Sipke and him did on the Azure Media Services, the new module. It is a different. It's not a feature of the Azure module, because it will have been separated into a specific folder. It's a separate module, but called orchard.azure.mediaservices. If you don't use that, you can remove the module, so there won't be any impact in terms of load, memory usage, or assembly to deploy. Then what else? Daniel did try catch more errors in the job processor, so the job module. No, not the job module, the jobs in the media services. Then I fixed the log views exceptions which were not logged and were displaying blank pages. If an exception in the view, this is not common. We usually have exception in the action itself, not in the view. So it was, we missed this one. Bertrand was hitting this, so it's been fixed now. Fixed a bug with which was allowing multiple media items to be selected on the content field, even though it was not allowed. There was a trick to select multiple items, so now it's fixed. I pulled some pull requests from Stanley about HTTP, well, the logger, new logger, which will log the tenant name and the URL. In some context, the HTTP context dot request was throwing an exception, so now it's caught and it won't break on cloud service. It was just happening on cloud service. And then that's about it. The status right now is that if I go on the issues which are still open with high importance, there is still one. So this issue is that if you try to submit a comment and you put some wrong data, like a bad reCAPTCHA, or you forget about the message, the transaction will still try to be executed and then roll back. Okay, roll back. Yeah, and this will imply some transaction log. If you are using SQL Server, for instance, the transaction log will be still taken into account. And the issue is that if you haven't configured your transaction log to not just grow indefinitely, your transaction log will just grow indefinitely up to the limits that your file system is imposing. And when you have some spam, it can grow fast. So I'm trying to prevent any request to hit the database, even during validation. I haven't succeeded yet, but that's the last item on my list. If we already can't implement that, we will have to postpone the fix. It's been there for always. It's always been there. I'd like it not to happen, but right now how Orchard works, it's using this as a feature. There is a workaround which is to configure SQL Server correctly, but if we can fix it, we'll fix it. If you want to help fix it, please help fix it, because I spent a lot of time on it already. Then I stopped and I focused on some others to make some progress. Is the issue clear with everyone?
Yeah, so you basically want to stop it hitting SQL Server because it's increasing the transaction log, right?
Exact. So I will explain maybe why it happens. So you know that in Orchard, everything is modular. So when you create a content type or a content item, multiple parts can come into action. Okay, that makes sense. So when you submit, for instance, a comment, we'll call all the drivers saying, do you have something to do with this data for the comment? You know, the update method in the driver. So all the driver will say, yes, I want to do something with this data for the comment. I will validate that the reCAPTCHA is valid. Okay. And the comment part will say, okay, I can grab the data for the comment. I will validate it and assign it to the comment. Okay. And so on. So everyone will try to access the object directly. And to do that, we need to create a fake content item with all the parts attached, and the drivers will work on this fake content item. And if they can do some queries and save anything like that, it's fine. But in the end, if in the pipeline, one of the drivers says, I'm invalid, at the end of the controller will say, okay, something is invalid in the drivers, so we just roll back in the transaction.
Okay.
Which means, yeah, there might be in some drivers some code which will read the database or write into the database. Okay, that might happen, and we can't prevent people from writing database. Here, what SQL is written is that when we create the content item, we actually create a content item record and a content item version record. Okay, to initialize the content item. That's how it works. So we say repository.create. I think that, or maybe it's quite of new, because I think in the old versions we had a flush on the repositories. So until we call flush, nothing was in the database. Okay. But since we changed not to use flush, because it's bad to use flush, we have been told, it might hit the database instantaneously when we create the content item. And then we roll back, so it's fine. There is nothing in the database, and nothing can see that. But the transaction log will log it, that we wrote into the database, and we roll back the transaction. So that's why we see the transaction run to increase. I've seen this issue personally on how I have configured my database. Is there are two things, and I think it's Zoltan who suggested it, or Christian who suggested it to Bertrand to change that this way, is to use for the growth of the log, it's to use the simple mode. When you create a database, you can change that. And also to configure the log to be auto shrink. And if you do the two things, you won't have any log issues. The caveat is that, okay, Zoltan is confirming that this was Christian. The caveat is that if you have huge transactions and your log is not big enough to support that, you won't be able to commit a transaction, but it's not the case with how Trad works right now. It might be the case with your custom modules. And the other issue is that you will not be able to recover your database using the transaction log. That's DBA stuff. So I will try to find a workaround to that, at least for the modules we expose with front-end editors like the comments and the custom forms. Yeah, I'll try. But if I can't fix it soon, we'll have to postpone it to 1.8.1 or to see if we can find a solution. Or if the solution we can just provide is how to configure a database. So that's the last bug. I still have to validate two other points before shipping 1.8. It's about the transaction disposal. I will look at it specifically because Christian has emitted some warnings that it's not complete, the fix is not complete, so I will look at it. And also I remember Sipke mentioning a versioning issue in the info set that I have to look at. So two last points I want to investigate on. They are not open as bugs, but I will investigate. And then we can ship 1.8 and 1.7.3. Which leads me to talk about someone on the forums was talking about why not naming the version 2.0 instead of 1.8. His point being that 1.8, the migration to 1.8 is different than the other migrations. I won't disagree, but so let me explain you the migration to 1.8 because you might not all know how to migrate to 1.8. 1.7.3 is very simple. You just put in place the binaries on your website and it will just work. There will be a bunch of automatic data migrations which will happen, but they're automatic. There is nothing to do. It will just work. For 1.8, because it's the shift, we are shifting from typical relational database access to kind of hybrid NoSQL and RDBMS. There will be some tables which will be deleted. Okay, which is fine because we won't use these tables anymore, so we don't care about removing them. And one phase of the migration is first to have a user account with the site owner permission. Okay, when you set up a default recipe in Orchard right now, it will create a super user account. Let's say admin. Okay, yeah. You set up your website, it's admin. And this user is also used for the super admin property. So super admin property is just a string which will define what username is the super admin. Okay, super user. But when we check for permissions in Orchard, we just say, oh, are you the site owner? And site owner is either the super admin account or an account which has the site owner permission. when we create the default admin account, we don't assign any role to it. So it's admin, it doesn't have any role. Not even administrator role. It's just the super admin account, so it can do anything. When we migrate to 1.8, this data about the super admin account was in a record which will be removed, and it will use the new storage. But at first, there will be nothing in the new storage. It will have to be upgraded by a specific module, the upgrade module. So when you want to access your dashboard, if you try to use the admin account, it will say no. The admin account doesn't have any role, and it's not even the super admin, the super user. So you can't access with that. So what you have to do, if you are in this context that you have only one account admin and no other account with administrator rights, the role, then you will need, before you place all the binaries from 1.8 to your current installation, you will have to add the administrator role to your admin account, or to give the site owner permission to any account you have, which will be the same. So this is the only step that you have to do, which makes sense actually. Somehow you should have a role on your admin and not rely on your super user property. That's the step that you have to do before being able to upgrade. And when you have that, you can access the dashboard, enable the upgrade module, and then start the migration of the data, which will take the data from the record to the InfoSet storage, and then reapply the super user name and all the settings that you had in the records. They will migrate to the InfoSet storage. So this is a different step than we used to do. A new step, which is, please ensure that you have the administrator role on your super user account, or please ensure that you have a site owner at least on your website. Okay, that's the goal. And so a user wanted to name this version 2.0. Just because of that, I still don't. Oh, and the other reason was that we are upgrading to 4.5, to the .NET 4.5, which is true. But yeah, I still want to call it 1.8 because I'm sure we'll have bigger plans with a 2.0 version, and yeah, and there is still still migrate. You just have to upgrade, and that's it. So there is not much difference than from what we did. There is no breaking change, and breaking change. There is no, you can still have your website running on 1.8. If it was running on 1.7, it will run on 1.8. And we have a migration story.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. We've spoken all along about keeping it on 1.8, and be it so late on in the day, I don't see why we would need to change the path at all, especially around what you've just mentioned.
Piotr is asking, can't we create an auto migration which will create a site owner? I tried. So trust me if I tell you that solution I could create, I don't want it. It's like executing SQL. So you need to create the table prefix. You need to execute a SQL query. So you need so many services into the core, because the site owner is in core, that you don't want it in core, and you add the references to external knowledge. And this logic is currently already in the upgrade module. So I prefer people to ensure they have an administrator role somewhere than having this code into the core. And this will just solve the fact that the super user will be upgraded. And if you don't have a super user, what do? You still have to ensure that you will have the site owner permission on some account, which you might not have today. So that's it. Daniel, when you say exactly same problem here, what do you mean? Yeah, the migration for tenants is the same procedure for all tenants, one by one. Any question? Okay, nothing. And that's it. I'm also, so it appeared on the news. I read internet sometimes, and so Mary-Jo Foley announced that that Windows Azure will be renamed Microsoft Azure. So I'm already preparing a commit to rename the Windows Azure features to Microsoft Azure. The modules won't change, the name of the module or the features won't change, it's just descriptions which will change. And so no, this should not break anything. And that's it. Any question? Moz, Microsoft Azure yes, probably Moz, and Microsoft Azure Media Services will be MAMS, and so on. Okay, next on the agenda, stage is done. Harvest. So harvest, let me copy paste some stuff first that I need. Oh no, I can't do that. So harvest, I can confirm the dates now. I have a paper confirming that we have the dates. This will be 9, 10 and 11 of June. 9 without Nick, 10 maybe, we'll see 11 if we'll be here. So 9, 10, 11. I also have some costs. So this I will deal with the organizers. Yeah. So 3 days, which means some of the costs will be more than what they used to be because it's one more day, 50% more. It will be in Redmond. I already know the location, the building and everything. When we have the website ready, this will be published, and this will give us some time to also define a list of preferred hotels and stuff like that. So I don't think that the site has got any update. Sipke?
We're working on it. We're looking at a couple themes, so we are moving forward.
Just change the images. You always want it to be perfect, I know. Looking at it right now. Can we keep the Muhammad Ali?
Only because Zoltan loves it.
I hated every.
Maybe if some people had, maybe if some people had some actual good quotes from the Orchard community, we could use them.
I'm sure.
Okay.
We should have kept a log of all Sebastian's quotes during the year.
Which one?
The ones that start something like this.
Yeah, pretty much.
With a French accent?
I thought you were German.
Anyway, it's progressing, guys.
Okay. So we have a little bit more than 2 months to prepare it, and so it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and what else? What do I know? I've seen the plans of the room, big room, so which can handle 150 attendees. If we are 100, it's fine. We can still fit into the room. So 150, it's a classroom style, like it was at Amsterdam, with some desks, not like in Santa Monica. It's a big room, and there are 2 big screens on your left and your right, 2 big projector screens. And I've already looked into the catering options. All options are possible, from breakfast, lunch, morning break, afternoon break. We can do a mix of all of these. Probably the lunch will be provided, because if you go out, you're in Microsoft and you won't be able to enter the cafeterias. I've checked. I would like it to be wrong, but right now we can't access the cafeteria with the badges you will have. So it means you can eat some grass. Everything is green in Seattle, but I think you will prefer to get the lunch locally. So we might have to provide the lunch, so we'll increase the ticket price for that. And yet, yes, we still have the option to get full then breaks: breakfast, morning break, lunch, and afternoon break, and coffee and beers also, and everything. Options are there, so we will see based on the budget. I already know there will be some security at the entries to give you some badges, because you will enter some Microsoft buildings. Is there anything you would like to do because you will be at Microsoft? Visit offices, or I don't know, see some specific people?
I want to see where you work.
Sure, I can take you to where I work, for sure. Everyone, I'm not sure.
Sweet.
But at least there is a public building that everyone can access, and this is where you can buy some goodies, Microsoft goodies. There is also what they call the Microsoft Museum, with Kinects and old stuff from Microsoft and new stuff. So that at least you can go and spare a few hours there, a couple hours, and buy. I think you can also buy some Microsoft products, software and everything. Yep. If you have any requests, just suggest. We'll see what can be done. Okay. Any question about Harvest? When the website will be done, yes, we will be able to provide the. Ilan, was the form for session suggestion on the website last year, or somewhere else, like on Google Docs or something like this?
No, it was on the site.
Okay. What do I have on my list? That's about it. We could do triage, but this will be triage for the next version. Does anyone know about a big bug? Christian knows about one that I have to check. Anyone else? Blocking bug for 1.8. Template. I think, well, template is a nice story. Doesn't it work for you, Antoine? So if you could try template, because I spent the whole day yesterday on fixing template. I could not. And this morning I tried every commit from the Git history, almost every commit. And whenever I would use a fresh dependency folder, like I delete the dependency folder, I rebuild my stuff, and I start my app, I have no issues with template. So I close the bug, even on the latest version. So if you can't make template to work, please try to delete your dependencies folder and let me know if it works after that. We need to try this template module.
What exactly was the problem? Do you see?
The issue was that it was taking very long to create a new template, and then it got a lock on the DB, something like this.
Oh, so orchard.templates then?
Yes.
Not. Alright. That's so cheap templates are broken. But...
So the repro is enable the templates module, create a new template. If it fails, try to delete dependencies, and whatever happens, let me know, because I spent one day yesterday on that, trying to see to find any issue or to find any solution. And this morning I could not find anything, just because I removed the dependency folder. That's about it. So Zoltan, no blocking issue for 1.8?
No blocking, just smaller ones. I've linked in the discussion.
So if you guys could try to upgrade your websites to 1.7.3 or 1.8 with the current revisions on the Git repository, that would be nice to find the latest things. Try to create a new website, but also try to migrate websites. If you need help, just ping me. I have so you have 1.7.3 working.
Yeah, I've already upgraded. I upgraded.
Okay. Upgraded, you mean? Okay, upgraded. Okay. So next step is 1.8. You know.
I went straight from 1.6 to 1.7.3, and it worked first time. So it looks good so far.
1.6 to 1.7 or whatever 7 dot something should be the same.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, I went straight from 1.6 to 1.7.x.
Okay.
And it just worked.
From 1.6 to 1.8, I've never tried. I will go to 1.7 and then to 1.8. That will be better.
I have a 1.6 database with lots of content in it. Maybe it might be worth trying it with something with a lot of interesting content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 1.8 should support that because it's asynchronous upgrade. It does like 10 items by 10 items and resend a request to the server to migrate 10 more items. So that's fine.
How long does it take?
We've tried with Bertrand's media. There were like 1,500 items. It took a few minutes, but it was a secured process. Like, it didn't break, it went fine, we could see the progress going to 100%, and boom, it was done.
How about the tenants? Did they, if you're on a multi-tenant,
Bertrand is not here? Bertrand is not here. Bertrand has 4 tenants, and he upgraded all his tenants, his 4 tenants.
And you just push it, and it kind of just goes and upgrades it, yeah? Just like I would have expected, yeah?
Yeah, that's what he did, and then when he was on 1.x, he just synced with the latest 1.x revision, and
okay.
No issues.
Cool. Cool.
1.7.2 to 1.7.3, then 1.8. If your goal is really to go to 1.8, you don't have to go to 1.7.3. Just go from 1.7.2 to 1.8. Then to go to 1.7.3 directly. Well, not directly. So was Bertrand's upgrade locally or production? He always tried it locally first, doing backups and everything. And then I think he applied, I don't know how he did that. If he migrated his local database to production or if he applied the upgrade directly on production. It's always better to do everything locally and to set up a staging and to switch this to this one, but yeah, depends on your environment. So the main goal for 1.8 is to gain performance and new feature, but the performance should be huge. There should be a huge step between 1.7 and 1.8 just because of the NoSQL thing and all the indexes that are created in database by default. On my local machine, without any cache, using a vanilla website and SQL Server, I get 50 to 60 requests per second without any cache. This is like 4 times what we had before.
Nice.
And if you add the cache, the output cache, you get hundreds of requests per second, and then proxy caches and IS kernel cache, you get thousands of requests per second. But this is cheating because anyone can get that. Okay, Daniel. So if there is no other question, we'll end the meeting because we want to triage today. I want to read to ship and to assess important bugs and focus on 1.8.1 to fix important bugs.
Okay. Sounds good.
So if you want to try 1.8, just take the 1.x branch right now, because in worst case there will be one bug fix, but everything else should work. Okay. You don't have to wait for 1.8 to be shipped to ensure it works and to maybe report important breaking things or being unable to upgrade, so we can update the upgrade steps.
Okay.
Just waiting for Piotr to finish his message. Question, guys?
Nope.
Then I see you next week. Thank you for joining. We have a record number of attendees today here. 3, 5, 6.
24, 25, Sebastian. I said at the beginning.
Maybe more.
No, it was.
Sebastian, are you going to go to build?
Nope.
How come? I thought there was going to be an announcement at Build about something to do with Orchard.
Nope. Who said that?
I thought you said that.
When did I say that?
On an email?
I don't remember that.
Maybe
No.
I'm
Is anyone on this call going? No, huh? Okay.
You?
Still deciding.
Ah.
Yeah.
I told you to go. For you, there will be announcements.
Yeah. Xamarin.
This I don't know. I know about other stuff.
Are they good announcements?
Well, the ones I know, they are good, yeah.
Oh, well, this is good.
There'll be Oprah moments.
And
Sebastian will be the official Microsoft benevolent dictator, not just Orchard. He's promoted.
no. No. Good. No, I'm good technical stuff. That's nice. So we'll see. That's soon. 2 weeks. Yeah. Good stuff. And yeah, no, there will be some Orchard stuff. And can I? Yeah, they said I could talk about it. Okay, so let me show you some. I can show you, but I will tell you. So if you go to the, let me see if I have the URL. They told me I could talk about it. So this website. Do you know the game Halo?
Of course.
Well, their website is using Orchard.
Oh, that's cool.
Microsoft team. So the team is called the 343. That's a design studio from Microsoft doing the Halo game, and they are running Orchard to do their website. And how they do that is they use Orchard as a backend, and their server-side front end is using Orchard using APIs. So you won't see it directly in the source code, but you trust me, they are using Orchard. And the videos they are pushing, maybe not all of them, is using Daniel and Sipke's Media Azure services. The video stuff.
Oh, no way. That's really cool.
So they're running 1.x, okay, in production, and with Azure Media Services on Azure, SQL Azure, web storage, Azure Media Services, and Orchard using APIs.
This is really cool.
Yep.
I started my blog engine.
Is it just the blog engine, or?
So right now I think it's just the.
Okay.
Well, blog engine is not really look at everything they have in their what they call blog. So I think right now it's just the blog which has been migrated like this.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
But yeah, I don't know I know some of their plans, but yeah, this is not public yet, so.
That's really nice.
I forgot to have him explain. I will try to get them to explain the architecture and how they did that, and to complain also about Orchard, because you guess they complain a lot. Yep. Yes. Well, no, I'm kidding, but yes, they did some things using APIs. They try to do so many things using one API call, one API endpoint, like redo our data. And there were some performance issues because of lazy loading and everything.
Did they submit any patches back for that?
No. This is, I think, an issue with how the service layer was done. So they also want to see the next REST API that I promised. You remember the stuff I did a while ago, to see if it could solve some of the issues. The API was too generic, like get me any content item with any part, with any field, and it was doing too many stuff to get a simple thing. Yeah, but it works. Yeah, and the way they are doing that, they are not the only customers to do that. Toyota.co.za for George. Everyone knows about it if you've been to Amsterdam Harvest Conference, because they explain how they did that. There is a video for that. It's using also Web API to that. What is the other customer who does it?
Steve did a demo on Backbone, didn't he?
Passion.no. Yeah, Steve Taylor also explained how to do that using Backbone. And who else is doing that? I have another reason. No, I think that's it from what I know. Yeah. Yep.
Is there a pattern that's common enough between all of these that it could be brought into the core, or standardized in some way? Or
we will work on providing REST APIs to access any module.
Okay.
Each module will provide. That's my goal.
Okay.
Each module will provide custom APIs based on the module itself. Like the search engine, the search module will provide a search API to search the content and get result by search engine. The taxonomy module will provide APIs based on taxonomy items and stuff like that. And the content module will provide like a content API to look for parts, and that's the goal.
Cool.
So I've demonstrated a few months back a prototype of that, and used it to create a PHP app, Windows 8 app, and an HTML app using Knockout. The same API to create 3 different experiences on the server side, on the client side, on the tablet from Orchard. That was very nice. I'd like to have it in next version. We'll talk about it. That's it. Okay. Thanks everyone. See you next week, and please try the new bits before and after it's shipped.
Cool.
Bye bye.
Thanks, Steve. Bye.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye bye.